Yes, people. Welcome to another edition of Finished Article and welcome to Fergie Time. As the title says, we're talking about Manchester United versus Arsenal. This is the show where we talk about all things Manchester United. We're going to cover the game yesterday against Arsenal. Pretty much that's all we're going to cover. We might try and cover a little bit of the news that we've heard over a couple of days about, rumours at Manchester United, about players, staff, etc. But without further ado, let me bring on my boy Shaz and we'll get things kicking. Yes, bro, how are we? We good?
Bro, what are you saying? You good?
All good, man. All good in the hood over here. How are you?
Yeah, good, alhamdulillah. Glad it's the weekend.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Been a long week.
Definitely. It has, man. It has. But yesterday was a good day for Manchester United. Different bits of information from yesterday. Man United, as you know, won 3-2 at home at Old Trafford against Arsenal. The talking point of that was Ronaldo hit his 800 and 801 career goals. Other news, Michael Carrick has left Manchester United. He didn't want to stay on as a coach after taking over as basically interim manager for the past 3 games. So what that means is the era of Ragnick has now begun. So we'll go through each point and we'll talk about the little bits and bats that happen in the game. So first of all, 3-2 Shaz. You good with that? Yeah, we're happy with the win.
First of all, big up to Shaz for predicting the score. Because you ended. I remember when we previewed the game, you actually did say 3-2 Man United.
Did,
so
yeah.
you were spot on with the prediction. Although it was funny how it happened.
But we'll get into
yeah,
the talking points, man. We're definitely going to get into all these talking points.
we'll leave that for the talking points. I mean,
We
yeah,
will definitely get into it. Do you know what? Let's get into
win.
it straight away, bro. Let's get into the main talking point straight away. Arsenal were basically given a free goal courtesy of Fred and the ref. Now, what that means is, if you haven't watched the game, go watch the highlights on YouTube. Arsenal took a corner, I believe, and Fred accidentally tripped up De Gea. De Gea was injured on the floor. He was holding his leg.
His back was
United
facing the goal.
basically,
Do you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. So United basically cleared the ball. It ended up with Smith Rowe outside the box, who took a shot, knowing that the keeper was on the floor, and Arsenal got a goal. Now it did go to VAR to see how De Gea went down, and that's when you see him clash with Fred. But I still think this goal should have been disallowed because the goalkeeper was injured. Arsenal should have seen that and kicked the ball out, and then continued play later on. But this is what Arsenal needed to do in it. They needed to score a sneaky goal to get the lead, but they still couldn't win.
The funny thing was, so Rob Green, a former England goalkeeper, talked about a similar incident during his career. So basically, what happened was that I think, went out injured, and effectively the same thing happened, but the referee called play. Now, what ended up happening here is that everyone was jumping up. De Gea's back was facing play, so he was looking at the net. So at that point, someone, either the players or the referee, should have just booted out.
Even the linesman should have called it to the
Yeah,
ref.
I'm
Look, De
surprised the
Gea's
linesman
down.
didn't call it.
We need to
Yeah,
stop play. De Gea's down.
yeah,
Like after the goal, even when obviously VAR decided that it's a goal because there wasn't a foul. Yes, there wasn't a foul, but the player was injured. So the ref should have taken the
yeah.
decision to say,
It's
no,
quite
that's not
realistic.
allowed.
Yeah, but yeah, as Shaz said, the positives were that it did cost Man United the win because they came back roaring. It was even funnier because literally towards the end of
Fred,
the first half,
yeah.
Bruno Fernandes back in the goals on his 100th
Yeah,
appearance.
Fred with the assist as well, man. Fred with 2
Fred with
assists.
the assist, yeah.
Fred got the assist for the Bruno goal, and then he won
Yeah.
the penalty
And then in the
for
second
the
half,
winning goal.
yeah, won the penalty.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think it
Big-
was a good game. We didn't play massively different to what we normally play, but we played more with a plan in this game. We had
yeah,
more of an idea of what we wanted to do as a team. Obviously, it helps when you've got big man Ronnie. scoring his 800th career goal and 801th career goal for you know in his career at United now. So that it was really good to see Ronaldo hit that milestone. I don't think there's other players that have actually scored more goals than Ronaldo.
No.
Is that? Yeah, I think he's the highest per.
Men's, he's the
Yeah.
highest goal scorer.
Pele's was
Men's.
765 at number 2. You've got Lionel Messi at 756 at 3, and then Romario had 753. So Ronaldo's like 40 odd. He's like nearly 50 goals more than Messi. And Messi, if you have to remember, Messi scored most of his goals at Barca, which is still a massive achievement in itself. But Ronaldo's done it across Serie A, La Liga, Premier League, and I think he's done it in, I can't remember what the Portuguese league's called, but he's done it across five. He's done it across 5 different leagues, where Messi's only done it across 1. So it shows that he's a very versatile player, and he's very, he can adapt to different situations.
Yeah, fair play. I mean, the guy, since he's come back at Man United, I think he's got 15 goals, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think he has, yeah.
He's slowly repaying back, well, continuing what he does best.
Of course.
And really, last night was sort of a release for him to get that goals flowing in the Premier League. Champions League, we're not worried about, because
we know he's going to score in the Champions League. He has
good.
missed the Champions League.
Yeah, it's in the Premier League that he was having a bit of a drought. Kind of like Arsenal have every other game.
And again, Bruno Fernandes was on a goal drought as well. For the longest time since he's been at United, he hadn't scored a goal until he scored against Arsenal yesterday. So it's good to see him on the score sheet. Again, over the past couple of weeks, Sancho scored 2 goals in 3 games. It's good to see him finally scoring.
Arsenal like the bogey team that they have been for Man United, so it was good.
They have, definitely. I was saying this to my mate. He's an Arsenal fan, unfortunately. Before the game, I was saying, you know what, Arsenal always show up against United, so it's going to be a close game, and it was a very close game, and that's why I predicted it at 3-2, Shez, because I know Arsenal turn up in this game. I know they will score against us, and that's why I predicted it 3-2, and I was bang on with it, which I don't know whether I'm happy or not, bro, because it was very, very close game. Towards the end, where we'd scored the 3rd goal at the penalty, it was always looking like Arsenal were pushing for a 3rd goal, and they were quite close a couple of times. Aubameyang, I don't know what he was playing at. He missed a sitter, basically. He just hit it straight at the goalkeeper, and De Gea saved it. Otherwise, that would have been 3-3. There was other chances that they had, but the Aubameyang one sticks in my mind more because he was within the 6-yard box or just outside it. And somehow he missed. And this is Aubameyang. He's before he was a really good striker, but now he's just shit. That's the only way I can put it. I'm sorry, man. That's the only way I can put it. And the same with Lacazette. Lacazette was a really good striker before he came to Arsenal. I think they both came to Arsenal after their peak, and they've just got progressively worse and worse whilst they've been at Arsenal. It's not Arsenal's fault that they're shit. They've just started to play. I mean, yes, they're getting old. They're close to their 30s, and they're just losing form. I mean, and it shows. I mean, Lacazette's not been offered a new contract, so he's leaving. He's going to have to leave on a free at the end of the season. So he's free to speak to teams from January, just like Pogba is. But the difference is Pogba, we paid 96 million for Pogba, and he's going to go, he's going to leave on a free.
Yeah.
And we've just lost £96 million transfer fee, plus the £200,000 a week wages that we've been paying, and bonuses for a player that's hardly featured over the 4 or 5 year contract that he's been at United. So, all in all, Juve robbed us of 96 million to start with. And then Pogba's robbed. I'm sorry to say it, but Pogba's robbed us of a wage. And I'm a really big Pogba fan. I've always backed Pogba, but recently, I mean, you can't back a player who doesn't perform consistently, and Pogba just doesn't perform consistently. Like, there's games where you'll see him be play at his best, like the Leeds game, the first game of the season. He played absolutely amazing. And then even the second game, I mean, in 2 games, I think he had like 7 assists or something in the first 2 games. And then he's just lost form. He got injured. He's lost form. And that's it. This is the problem with Pogba. He hits form for like 1 game. And then the second game he plays okay. And then that's it. He just drops form. It's not consistent enough, especially when you paid 96 million for a player. He needs to be more consistent. Now, if you watch him play for France, he plays a lot better for France than he does for a club. And that's just any club that he plays for. Even at Juve, he was a good player at Juve. I think he was more consistent on form at Juve than he has been at United. But saying that, he's still always consistent for France.
So are we making the assumption, and I don't think it would be a bad assumption to make, that Pogba prefers playing in the league that's slower?
I don't think that's the thing though, but I mean we've seen him hit form at United a couple of times. Like I said at the start of this season against Leeds, the game against AC Milan last season, where I predicted he was going to score and he came off the bench and scored.
Yeah,
Remember that game? And there was another game last season where he played really well. It's just he's not consistent enough, and part of the problem is he gets played in a better role for France than he does for club. Like he gets a more free role for club, and for club he has better players around him. Let's be honest about it. He doesn't have Fred and McTominay around him. He has Kante, who's one of the best defensive midfielders in the league or in the world. And he's got Benzema up front, and he's got these other players that play. He's got some really good players around him for country, which helps him play a better game because he can rely on them players to do more of the work. And that's what Pogba prefers, a lesser role in the team. He likes to have a free role in midfield where he can just roam around, look for the ball, get the ball, pass it around, ping it around to the wings up front. And he plays a role where he doesn't really he doesn't really track back, but he does defending like in that midfield area. But he doesn't like to track back. And you can see that when he plays for United because he doesn't track back a lot. Now, that's my assessment on Pogba. And I know I went on a bit of a rant about him there, Shaz, so apologies for the rant on Pogba. But it needed to be said, like, I really like Pogba. I think he's one of my he's always been one of my favourite players. From when he was at United before to whilst he's been at Juve and now he's back at United, I've always followed his career and I've always thought he was a good player. Now, when I play Football Manager, right, I have Pogba in my team. I don't sell Pogba. Like, he's one of my favourite players, so I'd never sell him in Football Manager. And I get, 20 to 30 plus assists from Pogba a season? Just because I play him in the role that he prefers.
So here's my assessment to back up what you just said. Everything you've said about Pogba, I've said in snippets over the course of the season.
100% you have. 100% you have, bro.
My problem with Pogba isn't that he's not a world-class talent. Isn't that I understand for France he plays better. Yes, he's got better players around him. I get that. Mm-hmm. My frustration with him is that Ragnick is coming in and he wants to play a pressing style. So yes, I can understand certain players will suit.
Pogba won't feature under Ragnick that much when he's healthy because or it's either he's not going to feature more or Ragnick's going to have a word with him and say, look, if you want to play, I will play you, but you have to play my style of you have to play the way I want you to play.
Basically,
and maybe Pogba needs that discipline to start playing better.
Exactly.
And I hope that's the case because if that's the case and he starts playing really well every game, that's what we need. Right. Yeah. But the problem you have with that is he could sign for another club in January for free for next season. And I'd hate to see him go, especially when he's hitting forward.
If I'm being honest, mentally I've actually prepared him as gone. Because
same here. Right now, because he's not signed with United, to me he's gone in January. Yeah. Unless no club, offers him a contract in January and they wait till the summer, but they don't need to because it's still going to be free. But that still gives United a chance to try and keep him before the end of the year, before the end of the season. Because if no one signs him in January, they can't offer him a contract from February until the season ends, or can they because it's a free transfer?
Well, I'm not entirely sure.
I think they can, but he can sign it, but he won't start for them until next
yeah, the
season.
summer.
I think that's what
Yeah,
it is. So from
correct,
January to the end of the season, he can still play. So
correct,
for
yes.
United, they need to, if they want to, they need to snap him down onto a new contract now. And if I were Ragnick, and I'd have a word with him and say, look, Paul, coming in as a new manager, I think obviously a lot of people rate him highly. To say, look, if you want to stay at United, you can stay. This is what we expect from you as a club, not me as a manager because I'm only here for 6 months. This is what the club expects from you, X, Y, and Z. Okay, and if you're happy to do X, Y, and Z, here's a new contract. This is what you've wanted. We're gonna give you what you want. Stay with United for another 3, 4, 5 years, whatever. But you need to keep doing X, Y, and Z throughout the rest of your contract because that is going to be in your contract as clauses. That's the way you keep Pogba and then you get him to play the way he, we know he can.
No, I agree. Gotta give him.
You have to put clauses into, like what I would do with a player like Pogba, right? The best way to do it is you offer him a base salary of what 100, 150k, right?
Yeah.
Or keep him on whatever he's on now, 200, right? And let's say he wants £400,000 a week, right? You say, okay, we can bolster it up to £400,000 a week, but in bonuses, you consistently get a high rating as a player, will give you X amount per week. If you get an assist, you get X amount per week. If you get goals, you get X amount per week. Most players get appearance fees. Most players nowadays get appearance fees. So you can give an appearance fee for being on the pitch. And the appearance fee, I think, is also as an unused sub. So if you're on the bench as a sub, you're unused, you can ask for a fee. So you can give him that because if he's not going to play, at least he still gets that bonus to help bolster his wage up every week. You've got to find ways to incentivize him to play better and say, right, we will give you X, Y, and Z if you play better, if you do what you're supposed to do in the team. That incentivizes him to say, right, I'm getting my £200,000 a week, but if I want more, I need to do what I need to do as a player for the club and play better consistently, and I'll start getting that money. That's how you incentivize a player like him.
No, I agree with that assessment, and it's a case of now.
That's my philosophy in football. If you want to incentivize a player, you give them bonuses. Like I do it on Football Manager. Like at the start of the season on Football Manager, they say you get the option to give bonuses per trophy won. So let's say FA Cup, League Cup, you say right, you get minimum fee of what X amount because you're not really asked about them cups. But then Premier League and Champions League give them higher amounts because that incentivizes the players to say, yeah, if we win this trophy, we will get, let's say, 30 million split between all the players and staff, which is quite a lot of extra money for winning a trophy.
No, very true.
And these things happen in football. I mean, these types of things are offered to players as an incentive. It's just we don't hear about it because it happens behind the doors.
But, yeah, it's almost like an unwritten rule, but they all do it, bro.
Exactly, bro. And as a team, United need to start playing. They need to start playing better, and I think they will now under Ragnick. I watched his press conference earlier today, and he spoke really well, like about the club, about what he wants to do. He said that at the moment he's only been offered a 6-month contract, so he doesn't know what's going to happen in the summer. He said we're going to look at that in the summer. He's saying I might, advise the club to keep me on as manager for another year after, just so I can help stabilize it. Because even he mentioned it that United needs some stability in the club and the team, and that would help. He said that his way of playing football is that we have to control the game. So he's going to teach the players that style of how you control the game when you have the ball, but you can also control it without the ball with your high pressing. And he spoke about this in the press conference, and it was a really good press conference to watch. He's very well spoken, and and he knows what he's talking about. Like, there was no stutters. Like, he had an answer for every question that he was given, and he had an answer straight away. So he knew what he was going to say when he was asked certain questions. He was very prepared, and it showed in his answers. I was really impressed with that press conference. He said he obviously, because the game was yesterday, he's got he met the team today. He said he's going to meet the team today around 4 or 5 o'clock. But there's no training session till tomorrow, and then you've got a game on Sunday against Crystal Palace. So he said, I've only got one game, so it's not really going to do much in that one. He said, I can't really do much in one training session. And he even said it himself that, changes will happen, but it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a couple of days. It's not going to happen in a couple of weeks. It's going to take time. And that's what Ragnick said. So I think basically he's saying don't expect miracle overnight, because that's not how it's going to work.
I wouldn't expect anything. I'll be
Exactly.
honest.
So did you watch the press conference, Shaz?
Yeah, I did. I enjoyed it.
What do you think of it, like, of what he said and stuff?
I think a lot of it resonated with me because all he said is, well, it's funny because he talked about Chelsea at the start because Chelsea apparently were in for him as well. This was after they got rid of Lampard, but it was only a short-term deal. And there was nothing long-term like United have offered him, like the consultancy role in the board after. Chelsea weren't really offering much of that. I think in terms of players, he even hit the nail on the head. The squads are good enough. It's the right size. You got players for each position.
He said that it's a really talented group of players. He said you've got the youth players that are doing really well, but you've got a balance of experienced players as well.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think the one thing that I picked up on that was quite funny was something that Dom or Vin Diesel said. He's like basically saying that how he lets him run after 5, but here's the best bit.
Yeah.
Sorry, I went off on a tangent.
No, it's all right. Keep going, bro. Keep going. I'm here. I'm listening, bro. I'm listening. Keep going.
Went off on a tangent. Sorry, my bad.
It's all good, bro. Do it. Do it,
I
man.
enjoyed yesterday's show so much. I went off.
Yesterday's show was really good, man. For people that didn't catch yesterday's show, it was called The Finish Cut, and we reviewed the Fast and Furious movies 1 through 9, including Tokyo Drift, unfortunately.
Anyway,
and we were joined by guest Ryan. So if you want to catch that, it is on the channel, so you can go catch that after this finishes.
Yeah. So going back to Ragnick, right? One thing I think Ragnick will do is he'll instill discipline where the team didn't have it before. So what he'll do is, you got all these superstars. He will make the tough decision whereby he knows that against certain teams, you might find it that Ronaldo will be on the bench for some of them because he knows what he's doing.
Carrick did the same. He put Ronaldo on the bench against, who was it? Chelsea, yeah. It was a weird decision to make because it was such a big game, but we got a point out of it, and I'm happy with that. I mean, I don't know if you remember, Shaz, in the last Fergie Time video, I said out of the 2 games against Chelsea and Arsenal, we should be aiming for at least 4 points, and that's exactly what we got. We got 1 from Chelsea and 3 from Arsenal. So, I'm happy with that because I would have been happy with 6 points. Don't get me wrong. I would have been happy if we beat Chelsea. But it was never going to happen. We had to be realistic about that game.
What the bigger challenge now is to manage expectation, because I've seen the next 8 fixtures from Man United, and all disrespect intended when I say that those are 8 winnable games.
100%.
What's going to happen is, apart from you and me, everyone else is going to get hyped up, say, Ragnar's coming, we should win them all. And I'm like, hang on a second, calm down. The guy plays first game on Sunday. Let's see how he gets on. Let's see how he styles there. It's going to take a couple of games for the players to tune in.
Are we talking just in the Prem here, sorry, with the next 8 games, or
Champions
League? Champions League games as well, haven't we?
Champions League as well.
Yeah. So just for people that don't know, the next 8 games for United are as followed: at home against Crystal Palace on Sunday. Then we've got the Champions League on Wednesday against Young Boys at home. Then we're away to Norwich on the Saturday 11th. We've got Brentford away on 14th of December. At home against Brighton on the 18th. away to Newcastle on the 27th, at home to Burnley on the 30th. Then we've got Wolves at home, Aston Villa away in January.
Shaz, can I stop you?
Yeah, go for it, bro.
There's tickets for the Young Boys game if you want.
Buy him.
Actually, let
Get
me
him,
see
bro.
if they actually are available. I just clicked
Is that
on.
this Wednesday?
Yeah.
Buy him, bro.
Actually, there's nothing there. I just
Come on,
clicked.
bro. You can't do that to me, fam. You
I
can't
can
do that
share-
to me, bro.
I
You
can
can't
share
do
the
that to
screen
me,
if
bro.
you want.
Nah, I'm joking, man. It happens, man. You see it available, but there's nothing there in it.
Oh, okay. Damn it.
Yeah, you had me hopes up there, lad. You had my hopes up.
All right. Bloody hell. Scared
Go
me
on.
there.
What happened?
It's Scunthorpe United. I'm thinking, yeah, I want to watch Scunthorpe United. And then I find out it's the under 18s.
Damn it. It says there's tickets available for the Palace game as well, but I doubt there is.
Just having a look.
Yeah,
Apologies, guys. We've just
there's
gone
only
off.
executive boxes available for the Palace game. I think it's the same with Young Boys, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, same there. You've got Scunthorpe, like you said, but then there's no other tickets available after that. But yeah, man, we'll find some tickets, man. We'll get some. If anybody's watching that may be able to get us some tickets, home or away, Man United, Premier League, Champions League, wherever, drop us an email or drop us a message, on social media, which is the links are showing at the bottom there. The personal ones are here in the bottom corner. There is an email address right on the screen now. So if you can get tickets for Man United at home or away, give us a shout, and we'll work something out. We'll if we can get to a game that you're offering tickets for, we will definitely try and buy those off you if we can come to an agreement on a price. I'm not going to pay over the odds for tickets. That's not what I'm here for. But yeah, if you're offering them at face value, we'll be glad to take them off you. Am I right, Shaz?
Damn right, bro. Damn right. Anyway, going back. Sorry.
So, as we spoke about this before, the fixtures that we had earlier in the season, where we had Liverpool, Man City, and then Tottenham. Towards the end of the season, we've got Man City, Tottenham, and Liverpool back to back in March.
Mm-hmm.
March is they're the only games in March. So Man City away, Tottenham at home, and Liverpool away. That's a tough month of fixtures. By Tottenham because they're shit. City and Liverpool are both going to be tough away, and we got beat off them at home at Old Trafford.
Yeah,
so it's not likely we're going to beat them away, bro.
Yeah, I find it hard to see how we'll get anything, but this is where Ragnick...
We've got a comment, Shaz. I think it's more directed at you from Darren. Wednesday next Cov show. So whilst you think of that, Shaz, there's probably going to be a show on Sunday, I believe in it, Shaz.
Correct, yes.
Which is a collaboration with another channel.
I believe you said it was next Sunday.
Sorry, that's not this Sunday. It's after the Huddersfield game, that one. So that's next Sunday, I believe.
Darren, basically, just to bring you a bit in the loop, and I will be sharing more details of this with you guys. So we've been asked to jump on the Sky Blues podcast, promoting all things Sky Blues, and they want to talk to us. So I'll be sending the link out to you guys. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah,
that'll be next Sunday.
So I believe you and Rich are going to be on there. Is that right, Shaz?
Yeah, me, Rich, and maybe Adam,
maybe
and
Adam
Darren.
and Darren. Okay. I shared your details with that channel because they reached out to me. I gave him your details and said, right, we've booked it in for the Sunday. You need to negotiate a time and send the link to you. So
yeah, I've not heard anything back from him yet. If you,
I'll share you their details as well, so that way you can reach out. Just say that you're from here. We'll talk about that after. We don't need to talk about that here.
Yeah,
but yeah, so obviously we've covered the United game against Arsenal. We're both happy with the result. We knew it was going to happen. We knew we were going to beat Arsenal. I mean, if we lost to Arsenal, let's be honest, it would have been more embarrassing than losing to Watford because it's Arsenal. But we've got to now look forward as as everyone says, you move forward. You don't dwell on that game too much. We won. We got the 3 points. Now you move on to the next game, which is Crystal Palace this Sunday. What are your predictions for that, Shaz?
I think it'll be a tough game. I don't know. I say this just because we don't know how the players are going to respond to Ragnick's style.
Yeah.
If you wanted a prediction for me, I'm happy to stick my neck out on the line and go 2-0 Man United.
Okay, cool.
But it won't be convincing, and it won't be pleasant because a lot of players will be getting adjusted to the style. So it may be like two big goals.
I don't think he'll change too much straight away, because that brings instability to that'll bring instability to the team, and he's a very clever manager, so I don't think he'll change everything straight away. But yeah, I think it's going to be closer than that, just because it's a new manager, and obviously they're going to be playing slightly differently to match the manager's expectations, with the pressing, and he wants to try and shut out other teams. He wants to get more clean sheets. He made that very clear. So you're right in saying 2-0. But I'm probably going to go with 2-1. And it's going to be a very close game. So I'm going to go with 2-1, bro. Darren has brought his prediction up here. 1-1 draw. It's a possibility. I'm saying 2-1. It's going to be very close. So, it could easily be 1-1. We'll see though Sunday. I'm looking forward to Sunday. It's probably the first time I've been looking forward to a United game this much, because we've had such a bad run under Solskjaer. I've just been disinterested in watching United. I still watch them, don't get me wrong. I'm just not as interested and excited in watching them, because it's always a shit show. But we've got a new manager. I'm guessing he's going to have a better lineup than most managers. I'm hoping he's not going to be playing the Deadwood. I'm hoping he's not going to be playing McTominay, because I'm getting sick of McTominay. He's not as good as everyone rates him to be. He's not highly rated. He's a good player, don't get me wrong. But I don't think he should be featuring week in and week out for Man United when we've got players like Matic. And even when Pogba's fit, he plays ahead of Pogba. He shouldn't be playing ahead of Pogba, because Pogba is what? I'd say Pogba's, even when Pogba has an okay game, he still plays a lot better than McTominay does. Pogba's stronger. So there's one thing I love about Pogba, is the way he shields the ball from other players, from the opposition players. Sorry, so he'll have the ball and he'll it's like he's guarding it and holding it up until another player gets in a position and he passes it, or he runs past the player after keeping the ball. It's something that Pogba does really well, and we need players like that. And McTominay, don't get me wrong, McTominay can win the ball, but he's not as big built as Pogba, and sometimes he gets pushed off the ball a bit too easily from other players that were a bit bigger.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'd like to see Donny van de Beek feature more now that we've got Ragnick, and I think he will, because he's going to fit perfectly into the style of play that Ragnick has. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to say Fred is going to feature a lot more under Ragnick, because he's very suited to that style of football as well. Maybe we'll get the best out of Fred with this new system. And if we do, who's going to complain? Who's going to complain if we get the best out of Fred and he starts playing it really good?
No doubt, bro.
Another player I want to mention, because the past couple of games since Carrick's took over, this guy's played amazing. On number 2, Victor Lindelof. He's made some great saves, like not saves. He's made some great blocks. He's done some great defending, interceptions, clearing the ball. He's switched his game. It's like he's a completely different player to what he used to play like. If you've noticed, like he doesn't make that many errors now, Shaz, compared to what he used to do before. I think he's learned a lot over the past season, and you can see him changing into a better player. And that's going to be an interesting thing, because you've got Harry Maguire and you've got Varane, but now you've got Lindelof breathing down their neck to get one of their spots.
It's good
So
competition.
yeah, it's good competition because it's going to push both of them to play better. But I mean, I'd rather personally, Shaz, this is my personal opinion. I would like to see Lindelof feature in a partnership with Varane over Harry Maguire on the pitch. I'd rather them two be on the pitch than Harry Maguire. And if we ever have to go with a back three, you've got Harry Maguire, Lindelof, and Varane play together. And I think that'd be a solid defense because Varane brings the experience and the composure to that trio. Lindelof can bring the same now that he's playing better. He's more composed. He's less error prone. And let's hope that Harry Maguire can learn from both of them and be less error prone and not give goals away like he has been doing. If Harry Maguire continues to play that bad, he needs to be benched. And I don't think he will because he's our captain right now. So he needs to pick up the slack basically and start playing better.
No doubt.
Otherwise, Rangnick will make that tough decision and bench him. Rangnick's the type of manager that will bench his captain if he has to. He'll bench Ronaldo if he has to. And one thing I've enjoyed under Carrick is watching Sancho play. Because in them 3 games he's played under Carrick, he's played really well. He scored, obviously, the goal in the Champions League and he scored the goal against Chelsea. He didn't score against Arsenal, but he still played well. It was his pass to Fred that won the penalty on the left side. I'd like to see more from Rashford. He's not playing like he was last season. And I get that he's just come back from injury and surgery, so he's going to need a bit of time to get used to, the coming back from that injury. Correct me if I'm wrong, Shaz. Mason Greenwood is still out with COVID. Is that right for this game?
Yeah, recovering from COVID. Yeah.
Yeah. So when he's 10 days isolation's up after COVID, he's then going to have to recover from it properly. And then he's going to have to hit training sessions properly. So I don't think we're going to see him until maybe after Christmas now, bro.
Yeah.
I'd be very surprised to see him before Christmas. I think it'd be too risky to bring him back into the team before Christmas. I think maybe give him Christmas off, let him relax, recover with his family, bring him back for the new year. And I think he'll hit form because he's very consistent in the way he plays. And it's great to see his development in the first team. What do you think of that, Shaz?
I think it's a fair assessment. I think Greenwood I'd like to see come back, but he needs to recover. In terms of players for Sunday, I think you're right. He won't change too much. Be similar. But one thing we will notice is the style of play will change slightly in terms of the pressing. So one thing they need to do is close the ball down, chase them, be like hound dogs, have 2-3 men running down and put them under pressure and literally force them into making stupid mistakes and once they get the ball back, run, pass, move, be intelligent with your ball.
We saw that in the Champions League game, didn't we, against, was it Villarreal?
Yeah.
That's where Sancho scored his first goal. They made that mistake. United pounced on it. Sancho had Rashford to pass to, and I thought he was actually going to pass to Rashford and not be greedy. But then I thought, you know what? Do it. Just go for it. You need to score your first goal for United and take that pressure off yourself. And he did that. And then he scored another one against Chelsea. And I hope he continues to keep scoring goals like regularly for United because we need that. We need someone to start scoring regular goals besides Ronaldo. Like, he's very consistent. He's scoring goals, but we need other people to step up as well. Otherwise, we're not going to win many games. You can't just rely on Ronaldo to score goals. We're 7th in the table right now. A win against Crystal Palace may bring us a bit further up depending on other results.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it'll be interesting. Like I said, you got Palace, then you got Young Boys. So in a way, it's like a free run at trying to get some form So let's see how they get on next couple
Yeah,
of
no,
games.
definitely, bro,
Young
definitely.
boys will be interesting because they've already qualified for the Champions League. It's just a case of finishing the group strong.
Yeah, no, definitely. There's a lot of other information that we can go through, but these are just
One
rumors
thing
at
I
the
wanted to go
moment.
through, I think you might have heard this. I'll start off with the first rumor.
Yeah, no, go for it, bro. Go for it.
Just
I'll
about
let
to
you go.
sign.
I'll let you go,
So
bro. I'll let you
couple of
go.
couple of Ragnick ones. Ragnick, sorry. So Ragnick basically, even though it's a 6-month role, could
Mm.
even, and I think you touched upon it, extend his deal for the year because they might just say, look, let's try him out for the year and let's see how he gets on. Fair enough. The second one is actually quite interesting. This might make you smile. So Ragnar will get an £8 million bonus, £8 million bonus if he manages to convince Haaland to join.
Wow,
So
wow. You know
I
what I would say? What you know what I would do with that 8 million? I would say, like Haaland, I'm gonna get 8 million if I sign you to United, right? We'll negotiate the deal. You'll get your signing on fee. You'll get whatever, but then I'll give you an extra 3 million from my 8 million.
why not?
That's an incentive, bro. That's an incentive. And just on that news, United have been searching for a striker, as we all know. United are looking to try and agree a deal worth £113,000 a week to move from Borussia Dortmund to Manchester United. And obviously, this is about Haaland. Reports coming from Germany suggest that Ragnick tried to hire the services of Haaland when he was managing RP Leipzig, and he will press to finally bring him to Man United. Head of football Christian Falk has claimed that Ragnick is close to the striker's father and agent and will try to convince him to join United. Ragnick's friend and former teammate Ralph Kropf has claimed that the coach will do whatever it takes to bring Haaland to United. So there's a lot of interesting information there. There's other people talking about Ragnick bringing Haaland to United, which is interesting and it's a positive. Looking likely that we're going to sign him. There's other reports that United are set to sign Tarek Lamptey, right back, to provide competition for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's
Good.
from Brighton. He's a player from Brighton, and United are looking to sign him as competition for Wan-Bissaka, which is always good. I love to see the competition for positions. We saw it for what do you call him, Luke Shaw, when Tellez came in, and that was always a positive, because Tellez has obviously hit form, and Luke Shaw hit form last season. I'm just hoping he can do the same. There's another player that United are looking to sign. We spoke about this earlier, and there's more news that he's looking likely to come to United with Ragnick. Amadou Hadera. He's Ragnick's top midfield transfer target for United. And he plays at RP Leipzig. And Ragnick took him there because he was their director of football or something like that. He's a solid midfielder, and I think they're signing him, which means it's probably likely that Pogba will leave because he's more likely. I think he's more likely a replacement for Pogba. There's other news here. So the rumor is, I don't know how I feel about this one, Shaz. I'm not 100% sure how I feel on this. So, from my understanding, Ousmane Dembele of Barcelona is going to be a free agent, and from January, he can sign with any club. The rumor was that Newcastle were after him, and I think it'd be a good move for him to Newcastle. But there is news here that United have made a contract offer for him. I don't know how I feel about that, Shaz. What about you? How do you feel of that?
I don't think we need to worry, man. We're always going to be linked with players
Yeah,
against Man
definitely.
United. Uh, I don't think it'll happen. If I'm being honest,
Mhm.
it's just one of those things that get thrown into the room. Oh, Man United need players. Oh, this player's free. What
Yeah.
player wouldn't want to come to Man United? It's just the way it is. So it's just hearsay at the moment.
Um, so there's an interesting article here. I don't know how true this is, so I'm going to take this with a pinch of salt. Ragnick was the man behind Timo Werner when he was playing really well at say Ajax, sorry, and he's still in touch with Timo Werner. And as we know, Werner hasn't played well at Chelsea, and he feels very. The article says that he feels very isolated, and he feels like he's alone in that situation because no one's supporting him. But he said when he was under Ralph Ragnick, he didn't feel alone because Ragnick and the other manager made him feel that he wasn't alone, so they supported him. So I think he still has that feeling where he wants to work with someone like that. So it could be a possibility that United buy him on a cheap deal from Chelsea. I don't know how I feel about that one, Shaz. What about you?
Nah, I can't see it happening. I don't. Man couldn't hit a Bondo to save his life. I don't think we need any more of that.
So other news, just really quickly, the deal for what's he called? That player that I've just mentioned, Amadou Hadera,
Yeah.
is looking likely a deal in January will go through for 33 million to bring him in. So he's not going to be overly expensive. And other news is that not Barcelona, Newcastle have made a very big offer for Dembele. So for not for this season, obviously for next season. I'm just having a look at other little bits that I've been reading about. There are rumors that there is a player who has been likened to Paul Pogba. He's been compared to Paul Pogba by Roberto Mancini. Um, his name is Nicolo Zaniolo. Currently plays at Roma. Um, Apparently, he is only um, he's only going to be worth about 4 or 5 million. And Newcastle are interested in him, but also obviously this is Fergie time, so we know Man United are interested in him. He's only 22, and he scored 2 goals and had 3 assists this season so far. So that's pretty interesting. That we're after a player that's young, that's likened to Pogba. So there's news that Telles wants more playing time, and if he doesn't get it, he's
He
looking
wants to move out.
likely to go to AC or Inter Milan, and it'll just be a 15 million deal. So that's interesting because I thought he's played pretty well. He's pushed Luke Shaw to play better, so I'd rather keep him. But I get obviously he wants to play more football. There's news that West Ham are likely to wait until summer to try and sign Jesse Lingard.
Yeah, I think that'll happen this summer. I don't think it'll happen now.
Yeah.
They'll get a fee
Um,
for him and then take him. It's fair enough.
but the situation with Jesse Lingard is that his deal, I think his contract's up in the summer, so they could sign him on free. I think that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, it's a sneaky way of saying. I mean, I will touch upon this in probably another episode.
But it
Of
also depends on what Jesse Lingard wants to do. Because if he wants to stay at United and prove he's good and fight for a place, he'll sign a new contract to do that. If he wants more playing time, if he wants to play for England in the World Cup, he's going
I
to need
think
to
he's
move
gone.
to a
I
bigger
think he's
club.
gone. He
He's
would
going
have
to
signed.
need, it's not a bigger club, sorry. He needs to move to another club where he's going to
Yeah,
feature week in and week out.
exactly.
So likely that he will go to West Ham, if you ask me. Whether
Yeah.
it's on a loan deal, from January again, or if he goes in the summer, who knows? But I will be a little bit upset to see him go because I still think he's a good player. But I understand he wants to play more football. So, yeah, Jesse Lingard to West Ham is probably going to be something that happens maybe in January, or maybe they'll wait till the summer and sign him on a permanent deal.
Yeah.
But appreciate everyone tuning in. This has been Fergie Time. The social media links are below, and our personal Twitters are here in the corners. Reach out if you want to get on the show. If you've got any feedback, leave some comments on the video. Smash the like button if you haven't. Has been a couple of people watching live, so please smash that like button. It does help get the video noticed to other people. The more likes, the more it's going to be recommended to other viewers. If you haven't already, smash the subscribe button, get yourself subscribed to the channel. There's going to be a lot more content. I've been in touch with a couple of hosts from other areas in other sports to try and get them to maybe do shows on the finished article, working out deals with them as we speak. I'm not going to speak on who those people are or what sports they'll be covering because we're not 100% sure yet. But we will be getting some more shows out over the coming week. We've got All Things Football tomorrow, where we will do a roundup of game week 14. And we might just stick in a preview of game week 15 at the end of it, depending on how much time we have. But yeah, we unfortunately had to cancel All Things Wrestling this week due to other issues that we had to deal with. But All Things Wrestling may come back on Sunday. And then Fergie Time will be back on Monday when we do a post-match analysis of Man United versus Crystal Palace. The schedule will be out. Some of the schedule will be out after this video, and the rest of the schedule will probably be posted over the weekend. So get yourselves, set yourself a reminder for the video so you don't miss out. Hit the bell notification as well. You'll get notifications when we go live. I'm going to hand it over to my boy Shaz, let him leave his final thoughts and any comments that he wants, and then we'll just wrap up and finish this video. Again, though, appreciate everyone tuning in.
No, as Shaz said, great show. Great to cover all things Fergie Time. Just be interesting over the next couple of days to see how the guys get on against Palace, young boys. But stay tuned for our reaction, our thoughts as we go on. And Shaz has said, we will be releasing a full schedule over the weekend. So stay tuned for more content. And until next time, take it easy. See you soon.
Yep. Again, thanks everyone for tuning in. And if you want to leave any comments on what we've talked about, leave them in the comment section below and we'll get back to you.